Good morning to my dear students. Students, today I will discuss about the eukaryotic cells, and I will tell you that how the eukaryotic cells differ from prokaryotic cells and what are the functional regions of eukaryotic cells. So students, as we all know that eukaryotes means those cells which are having well developed carrion. Carrion means nucleus. Means eukaryotes are those animals, or eukaryotic cells are those cells which are very well developed, means they possess a well defined nucleus as well as membrane bound cellular organelles. Generally eukaryotes include protists, plants, animals and fungi. And if you will observe that if we will observe the structure of the eukaryotic cells, so we will find out that eukaryotic cell has extensive compartmentalization, means the cell is completely divided into various compartments due to the presence of various membrane bound organelles. And it also have one well defined nucleus, means which have a clear cut nuclear envelope. Okay, and sometimes some additional structures like complex locomotory structures are also present in the eukaryotic cells, as well as cytoskeleton is also present in the eukaryotic cells. Now students, eukaryotic cells are not always similar kind of, means eukaryotes may differ, because I am giving one example. Plants and animals both are the examples of eukaryotic cell. If we will observe their structure, we will find out that there are quite too much differences, or quite differences or variations between these two cells. So I mean to say that I want to say that all eukaryotic cells are not identical. Is it clear? Like plant cell possess cell wall over or plasma membrane, and while the animal cell have centrioles which is absent in plant cells. Similarly plant cells have plastids which are not present in animal cells. Okay, so today one by one we will discuss about various functional regions of eukaryotic cells which are common in either it is a plant cell or animal cell or a fungus. Okay, so today we are going to discuss general uh, common features which are present in all eukaryotic cell, or I want to say that I want to discuss what are the functional regions of a cell. So I want to tell you that there are three functional regions. uh, First one is plasma membrane, the second one is cytoplasm, and the third one is nucleus. Is it clear? Here in this slide you are observing two pictures, one is of plant cell and one is of animal cell, and with the help of these two figures we can find out what are the differences between animal cells and plant cells. Okay, now I'm not going in detail right now, we will discuss it later on what are the differences between animal and plant cells. So initially I am going to tell you that what are the main three functional regions. As I mentioned earlier that first functional region of the cell is called cell membrane or plasma membrane. Second functional region is called as cytosol or cytoplasm, and the second is called and the third one is called nucleus. So initially I am talking about cell membrane. So students, I want to tell you that mm, today we will discuss that what is a cell membrane and what is its structure, how it is composed of, and what is its function. So students, I want to tell you that the detailed structure of the cell membrane was studied only after the invention of the microscope, means when the well developed microscopes were invented, after that only the structure of cell membrane was discovered, यानी 1950 के अराउंड के बाद जब माइक्रोस्कोप डिस्कवर हुआ, उसके बाद ही आपके सेल मेम्ब्रेन की डिस्कवरी हो पाई. मीनवाइल केमिकल्स studies on the cell membrane, especially in the human RBC, enables the scientists to deduce the possible structure of the plasma membrane. After the discovery of the microscope, the scientists then studied about the structure of the RBCs, and while they were studying the structure of the RBC, they studied the structure of the cell membrane of it, and then after they were identified to find out what is the chemical nature of the plasma membrane. Now I want to tell you that the after the studies, the scientists told that the membrane is composed of lipids, and these lipids are arranged in the form of bilayer, means जो प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है मोस्टली लिपिड्स की बनी हुई है, एंड द लिपिड्स आर अरेंज्ड इन अ फॉर्म ऑफ बाइलेयर, so that the lipids are arranged with the membrane with the polar head towards the outer side and the hydrophobic tails toward the inner part. Now I want to show you mostly the layer is made up of lipids, and what is the nature of these lipids and how these lipids are arranged. I want to tell you that. Suppose I just want to show you uh, with an example. As I mentioned earlier that I will show you here. Okay, suppose it's a bilayered membrane, okay, and it is composed of lipids, and the lipids are arranged in such a pattern that their hydrophilic head is towards the outer membrane, like it, and the hydrophobic tail, here the circular region is head region, which is located towards the outer side, like it, either the internal environment of the cell or the external environment of the cell, and the tail region is located towards the between portion of the two membranes. Now this is the head region, this is located outside, tail is towards the inner side. This is the head is located towards the outer side, and the tail which is hydrophobic, it is located towards the inner side. So this is the basic feature basically. uh, Here it is mentioned clearly in this slide. Okay, uh, thus the lipids are arranged within the membrane with the polar head towards the outer side and the hydrophobic tails towards the inner part. This ensures that the non-polar tail of the saturated hydrocarbon is always protected from the aqueous environment, because as we know that cytoplasm has also aqueous environment, and the outside the cell there is also aqueous environment, so the hydrophobic tail is always protected from the aqueous environment. And I want to tell you that those lipids who are synthesizing this bilayered membrane are basically phosphoglyceride. The type of the lipids is phosphoglyceride. Is it clear? Now later on the other discoveries, other biochemical investigation carried on, and after that it was discovered that the cell membrane also possesses some kind of proteins and carbohydrate. Now the ratio of these proteins and carbohydrate is varying in different kinds of cells. uh, Now I am talking about erythrocytes, RBCs. In RBCs there are 52% of proteins and 40% are only lipid. If we will observe the plasma membrane or cell membrane of any RBC, so we will find out that the most of the content of the plasma membrane means 52% is made up of proteins and the 40% is made up of lipids. Okay, depending on the ease of extraction. Now how these proteins are embedded or how these proteins are associated in this lipid bilayered membrane, I am going to tell you that. Now where is their location? On the basis of their position or their location, because while we are going to extract them, while we are going to remove them from that membrane, so on the basis of their position or location we can say that these proteins are of two types: integral protein or peripheral protein. Means peripheral proteins are those proteins which are located towards the outer side of the membrane or towards the periphery of the membrane, while the protein which is embedded in the bilayered membrane are called as integral protein. Here in the picture you can see that इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन इज़ क्वाइट एम्बेडेड इनटू द, और इट इज़, आप देखोगे कि बिल्कुल फंसी हुई सी नज़र आ रही है, पार्शली एंड कम्प्लीटली एम्बेडेड है, बरीड है. वहीं जो आपकी पेरीफेरल प्रोटीन होती हैं, दीज आर लोकेटेड टुवर्ड्स द पेरीफेरी, मतलब ये साइड की ओर होंगे, बाहर की तरफ कोई प्रेजेंट होंगे. इज इट क्लियर? नाउ दिस इज़ द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ, अब यू आर ऑब्जर्विंग हेयर bilayered lipids. In this figure you can see that there are two layers of lipids and you are observing the head is towards the periphery. Now I am zooming it. हेड जो है आपका देखोगे ये कॉर्नर की तरफ है, बाहर की तरफ है, और टेल्स जो हैं इसके अंदर की तरफ है. इज इट क्लियर? एंड द प्रोटीन्स आर एम्बेडेड ऑन इट, एंड the proteins which are completely buried are called as integral protein, and which are located towards the outer side are called as peripheral proteins. Is it clear? Now this is very important term. The improved model to explain the structure of the plasma membrane was proposed by Singer and Nicholson in 1972. This is very important. This comes in the competitive examination too. There were two scientists, Singer and Nicholson. In 1972, they proposed the model of structure of cell membrane or plasma membrane, and this was widely accepted model, and it is known as fluid mosaic model. This model is known as fluid mosaic model, and this explains that the plasma membrane is made up of quasi-fluid nature of lipids or bilayered lipids, and in which the proteins are embedded, or we can say that in which the proteins are floating everywhere, because the lipids are quasi-fluid, so in it the proteins can float here and there very easily. We can assume that lipids as a ocean, and the icebergs like a protein, like in the ocean icebergs can float here and there. Similar to it, the plasma membrane is basically bilayered lipids, is made up of bilayered lipids, and the proteins are embedded in it. Due to the quasi-fluid nature of the lipids, these protein can easily move here and there in that particular layer. ठीक है. The fluid nature of the membrane also imports from the point of the view of function like cell growth, formation and intercellular junctions, secretion, endocytosis and cell division. So basically, as the quasi-fluid nature or fluidity is there in the bilayered lipid membrane, so it also helps in the growth of the cell, formation of the intracellular junctions. It also helps sometimes secretion of various things from the cells, endocytosis as well as exocytosis, as well as the cell division. Now I want to discuss some functions of cell membrane or plasma membrane. Okay, initially I want to tell you that as we know that cell membrane or plasma membrane is a selectively permeable membrane or semi permeable membrane. Okay, its most important function is to transport things either inside the cell or outside from the cell. Okay, as we know that there are various molecules which can move across the membrane without any expenditure of energy. Okay, while any kind of material which is going inside the cell or going outside from the cell through this selectively permeable membrane, if there is no expenditure of energy for this transportation, this kind of movement is called passive transport. While there are some neutral solutes too. Neutral solutes can also pass from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Means along with the concentration gradient they can move, and the process is called diffusion. Similar to it, water can also move from the selectively permeable membrane or plasma membrane from a region of higher concentration to region of lower concentration. Then the process is called as osmosis. While there are many polar molecules which cannot pass through this membrane because this is made up of lipids, so they cannot pass this lipid membrane, so they will require some proteins, and these are going to attach with these proteins, and these proteins are providing them facility to go them across the membrane, and such kind of diffusion is called as facilitated diffusion. And sometimes there are some molecules which must have to pass this membrane against the concentration gradient, means they have to pass from a lower concentration to a higher concentration, so it's quite impossible with the help of the passive transportation, so they will require some energy, and this energy is expenditure is takes place in the form of the ATP. And while through selectively permeable membrane or through plasma membrane, when the contents or when the molecules are moving from a region of lower to higher, then it is called as active transportation. An example is sodium potassium pump. Okay, and so in this way today we discussed about the structure of the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Okay, please go through it once again. If you are facing any problem, please contact me. Once again, I will meet you tomorrow with the next video. Till then, thank you, bye bye, and have a nice day.